Hello guys, this is Mansur from CAD Micro Solutions. I'm the electrical application specialist here. Today we will be seeing how to perform an external SVN version control using Altium Designer. We can either use the internal SVN or the external SVN. For this video we'll be concentrating more on the external SVN part. To perform this we would need an external SVN client. In this case we'll use Tortoise SVN. We would need a design repository. We would use Altium Designer to create this, and also an hosting server if you want to host your files to remote users or over a network. So if you see here, I have Tortoise SVN already installed on this machine. If I hit help, it lists all those good documentations on how to create a repository using Tortoise SVN and how to add more files to the existing design repositories. And let's close this. To install Tortoise SVN, you will need to go to the Tortoise SVN website. I can access the website right from here. So under Downloads tab, I select Downloads. I have both 64-bit and a 32-bit installation media over here. Try to follow the instructions mentioned in the website and install the Tortoise SVN. It is not that hard. Let's open the repository browser. This is where we would view all our repository files, like our design repository files. Let's select it OK to that. You can see all my revisions over here. So if I right click on any document and hit show log, it gives me information on how many revisions performed and what were the commit messages that were written on top of those commits. So I'm going to use one of these test projects. It is a very simple schematic. Let me open it with Altium Designer. I'm using 16.1.9. So once I open my schematic, you'll see that it is a very small design with 3 resistors and a source and a ground. You would create 2 more revisions of this specific schematic. Before that, let's open DXP, Preferences. Under Data Management tab, we would create a design repository for this specific external SVN. So I go and select Create New SVN, and I give information regarding this specific repository. Let's type those details. So I'm going to give a name for this repository. The default checkout path is selected to be on the specific version of Altium installed. You can choose any default checkout path, and then your repository location you can choose from your either from your local machine or from your network drive. Select to create a new folder and give a meaningful name for my future reference, so that I would not delete this specific repository in the future. So this is where all my database files are stored. But let's select OK to that specific folder. So I can use either the file type or the HTTP type. I can see here my external SVN repository is created. I hit apply to save that repository. If I go to version control, instead of using the built-in SVN, I'm going to use the external SVN or the external subversion client. All these executables you can find it under the installation folder where you install Tortoise SVN. So let me browse to that. You would see here I can select either the SVN exe or the SVN admin, and it would be listed under the bin folder. Let me cancel this. So make sure that you select all the executables, hit OK. So that activates my SVN client. So let's first add this project to a design repository. To do that, I'm going to right click on that project, select version control, add project to version control. I'm going to choose this repository that I created now. Select a new folder under that specific repository. I'm going to stick with the test project name. So you see here my plus signs indicate that it is ready to be committed. I don't want to create any more changes to this specific design. I'm going to commit the whole project. This is my first commit. I'm going to keep it as my default design. Type default and I hit OK to that. This performs my first commit. To view that, let me open my Tortoise SVN browser. Start all programs, Tortoise SVN. I can either use it from this Tortoise SVN browser. I can point to that specific repository, or I can just open the project folder which was on my desktop here on the bottom. That's my project folder. The green tick marks indicate that like my project got committed. So I can also bring my repository browser from this specific menu. I right click on the folder, it gives me all those options to see the log or open the repository browser. Let me choose repository browser for now. Hit open. So this gives me all the project details that was listed in that under that specific repository. So I can see all my revisions and versions over here. Let's go back to Altium Designer. You can see that the blue mark indicates my first commit. And let's create some changes. So for my second change, I'm going to change the resistor R2 value to something else. Let's say 10K, and then save this schematic. You can see that like the exclamatory mark appears, which means that that project is out of sync. I can just commit the whole project. So if I right click and I'm going to type second commit, say that R2 value got changed or something informative. So R2 value change. Sorry, I'm typing with my left hand. Hit OK to that. So this, you see that like project is on sync now. If I hit refresh in the repository browser, I could see that like my revision got updated. So I have 3 revisions now. To view this specific revision, I can open my storage manager. You can find the storage manager under system on the bottom left corner of your screen. So if you don't see the storage manager, go to the bottom left corner of the screen and activate it. You can see all my revisions listed under this specific menu for the schematic sheet. So I can perform revert to by selecting on any of the versions. So I can open those versions before committing, saying that like which version I want to go to. You can see that. So if I want to revert back to revision 2, just hit revert to. If I zoom in, as you see here, I went back to my default version, my first commit. So let me revert back to the second version. So it is this easy to go back and forth. So if you want to compare any two of those documents, you can just, so let's create a third version. I'm going to change the value of my R3 resistor, change it to 100K, hit OK to that. Again, I can save it, saving unsyncs it, and then I can either commit the whole project or I click on the schematic document and commit that specific document. Let's stick to the commit whole project, version control, commit whole project. Give another comment saying that my R3 value got changed. This is my third commit now. Value change. Hit OK to that. It again syncs back to my design repository. If I choose my, so if you see here right now, I'm pointing to the project folder. So if I choose my schematic on the top, it gives me all the other revisions. If I choose project, it gives the project specific revisions. If I choose schematic, it gives me schematic specific revisions. So again, I can revert back and forth by right clicking on that specific version. So if I want to compare those two, I can just so let's select those two options. I'm sorry, let's select any of those two versions. I click and compare, which gives me option to see which are the two components that got changed. So if you see here, between versions 2 and 3, only the R3 value is different. So this is very easy for you to identify which version has which specific change. So let's close all those documents. So we know that how to revert it from Altium Designer. Let's open the repository browser to see. Before that, let me again save and commit this specific project to make it my final commit. Let's hit refresh. Save all. Version control commit whole project. I'm going to type this one as my final project. hit OK to that. So again, it comes back to sync. So you can see my project now has two revisions. One was the final release, and the previous one was the first commit. Right. So let's close all and close the project now. Right click. I'm sorry. Right click. Close the project. Let's open the repository browser. If I hit refresh again, you would see that like all my versions and revisions gets listed over here. Let's open the project folder from here. Right click again. Tortoise SVN. So I can open my log files over here where all my histories get, all my versions get displayed over here. So if I want to revert back to a specific version, I just need to right click on that specific version, select revert to the revision, hit revert, hit OK to that. This performs the revert operation to that specific revision, hit OK to that. You see that like project is out of sync. To make it again sync back to the design repository, I just need to right click on the project, hit OK, and this created a sync between my design repository and my project folders. Right, so let me open the project again. So if we see the schematic, it should point to the second version, which had 10K for R2, R3 was 1K, right? And that concludes our video on how to perform revision control using an external SVN client. We'll see in future videos how to use a visual SVN server. And thanks for watching.